Cho, everybody, NZ Blazing here, back with another video. As this time around I got a squad builder video around Golden State Warriors, as it's a 2011-2012 season, as we've got Klay Thompson here in his rookie season, as he got drafted in 2011-2012. So he's at a 77 overall with 11 badges, standing at 6'6" at the age of 21. Surrounding him is David Lee, Andrew Bogut, Steph Curry, Steven Jackson, Richard Jefferson, Doral Wright, Andreas Berdrans, Reggie Williams, Nate Robinson, Valdemar Romanovic, Dan Guzaric, Rodney Garney, and Michael Davis and Richard Johnson to finish up your Golden State team. So we've got it all set on Hall of Fame. Injuries are turned off, 12-minute quarters, and no trades. So we'll get into the simulation and see how well Klay Thompson can do in his rookie year for Golden State Warriors. So the first game is up against the LA Lakers. So go from October 18th to October 30th. So we'll simulate through. We lose first up to the Lakers, then win against Denver, win against Sacramento, win against the Suns, win against Miami, win against the Hornets, and then win against Detroit. So we start off 6-1. The only game we drop is to LA. So we dropped the 133-126 loss to LA. 24 points and 10 assists for Steph Curry, so a double-double. 21 for Steven Jackson. 18 points, 1 rebound and 1 assist for Klay Thompson, shooting 7 of 11 from the field. Andrew Bogut with 16 points and 13 rebounds, so a double-double. 31 for Kobe Bryant, 26 for Pau Gasol, and 20 for Lamar Odom. And Matt Barnes came in with 19 points in 17 minutes. And then the win against Denver, 24 points for Steph Curry, Steven Jackson with 15, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists for Klay Thompson, shooting 3 of 14 from the field. Richard Jefferson with 10 points and Bogut with 10 points and 17 rebounds, so a double-double. 14 for Al Harrington, 13 for Wilson Chandler, and 12 points each for Ty Lawson and JaVale McGee. And we move on to the win against Sacramento. 20 for Nate Robinson, 19 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists for Klay, 15 for Reggie Williams, 14 for Steven Jackson, and Steph Curry struggled with 13 points, 1 rebound, 6 assists, and a steal. 27 points for Tyreek Evans, 23 points for Marcus Thornton, Eddie Curry with 12 points and 13 rebounds, so a double-double. DeMarcus Cousins fouled out for 12 points. And then the win against the Suns, 26 points for Shannon Brown, Grant Hill with 18, Steve Nash with 16 points and 13 assists, so a double-double. Hakeem Warwick with 11 points, 26 points for Steph Curry, 24 points, 5 rebounds and an assist for Klay Thompson, 12 points for Steven Jackson, but he fouled out. And then, we'll move on to the big win against the Heat. 26 points for Doral Wright, 25 points for Richard Jefferson, 23 points and 15 assists for Steph Curry, so a double-double. 23 for Steven Jackson, David Lee with 22 points, Klay Thompson with 18 points, 4 rebounds and 3 assists. 37 points and 11 assists for LeBron James, so a double-double. 26 points for Dwayne Wade. James Jones with 19 and Chris Bosh with 14 points and 10 rebounds, so a double-double. And then the win against the Hornets, 33 points coming from Kemba Walker, 21 for DJ Augustine, 17 for Corey Maggette and Kwame Brown with 16. 25 points and 11 rebounds for David Lee, so a double-double. 18 points for Steph Curry, Doral Wright with 15, Steven Jackson with 12, and Klay struggled with 11 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal, shooting 3 of 10 from the field. We move on to the win against the Pistons. 22 points for Tayshaun Prince, 17 for Ben Gordon, 17 for Chris Wilcox, and 16 for Greg Monroe. A 30-piece for Steph Curry, 20 points and 10 assists for Steven Jackson, so a double-double. 14 points and 3 assists for Klay Thompson, shooting 5 and 9 from the field. Do we move into November? So go from October 30th to November 20th with a 6-1 record, so simulate through. We take a tough loss in November, start November against Miami. Then we get a win over the Magic, lose to New Orleans, win against the Kings, win against the Cavs, lose to the Kings, lose to the Spurs, win against the Suns, win against the Knicks, and win against the Rockets. So as of November 20th, we got a record of 12 wins and 5 losses. So check the loss to Miami. 38 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists for LeBron James, so a triple-double. 31 for D. Wade and 16 points for Chris Bosh. 23 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist for Klay Thompson. 20 points for Steven Jackson. David Lee with 18, and Steph Curry struggled to 7 points and 10 assists. And then a win against the Magic. 36 points for Jason Richardson, 17 points and 13 rebounds for Dwight, so a double-double. Glenn Davis with 17 and J.J. Redick with 12 points. 25 points and 11 assists for Steph Curry, so a double-double. 22 for Richard Jefferson. Bogut with 17 points and 11 rebounds, so a double-double. Steven Jackson with 16 and Klay Thompson with 13 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists and a steal. And then the loss to the Pelicans, 28 points for Eric Gordon, 20 points for Peja Stojakovic, Carl Laundrie with 15, Jared Jack with 13. And then the Warriors had Steph Curry with 25, Klay Thompson with 21 points, 1 rebound and 2 assists, 17 for Doral Wright and 15 for Steven Jackson. And then the win against the Kings by 2 points, 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist for Klay, shooting 6 of 10 from the field. David Lee with 15, Richard Jefferson with 14, Steven Jackson with 13, and Steph Curry with 12 points and 10 assists, so a double-double. DeMarcus Cousins with 25 points and 14 rebounds, so a double-double. Luther Head with 12, and Tyreek Evans with 11, and Eddie Curry with also 11 points. And then the win against the Cavs, 27 points and 11 rebounds for David Lee, so a double-double. 22 for Steph Curry, 14 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists for Klay Thompson, shooting 5 of 8 from the field. 22 points for Antoine Jameson, 18 points for Kyrie Irving, 17 points for Daniel Gibson. Pardon me, man, this coughing, man, I'm trying to get over it. And Anthony Parker with 14 points. And then the loss to the Kings, 31 points for Omir Caspi, 31 points for Caspi, 27 points for Tyreek Evans, 19 for Thornton, and 17 points for DeMarcus Cousins. 19 points and 11 assists for Steph Curry, so a double-double. 16 for Jefferson, 16 for Wright, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal for Klay, shooting 6 of 13 from the field. And then the 6-point loss to San Antonio, 21 for Doral Wright, Steph Curry with 20, Richard Jefferson with 18, David Lee with 15 points and 10 rebounds, so a double-double. Klay Thompson with 12 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, and a block, shooting 4 of 10 from the field. 10 points and 14 rebounds for Andrew Bogut, so a double-double. 22 points and 12 rebounds for Tim Duncan, so a double-double. Ginobili with 21. Tony Parker with 14 points and 10 assists, so a double-double. 14 points for Danny Green. And then the 1-point win over the Suns. 25 points for Grant Hill. 19 points and 16 assists for Steve Nash, so a double-double. 14 for Marcin Gortat. And then 24 points for Richard Jefferson, 23 for Steven Jackson, David Lee with 21, Steph Curry with 16 points and 11 assists, so a double-double. Klay Thompson with 11 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal, shooting 4 of 11 from the field. And then the win against the Knicks, 18 points for Curry, 14 for Jefferson, Steven Jackson with 14, 12 points for Bogut, David Lee with 11 points and 12 rebounds, so a double-double. 7 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists for Klay Thompson, shooting 3 of 9 from the field. 22 points for Carmelo Anthony, 18 for J.R. Smith, Inman Shumpert with 13, and Amari Stoudemire with 12. And then the win against the Rockets, 21 points and 10 rebounds for Louis Scola, so double-double. Kevin Martin with 18, Kyle Lowry with 12. 21 points for Steph Curry, Dorrell Wright with 17, Steven Jackson with 13, Andrew Bogut with 12, Nate Robinson with 11, and then Klay struggled with 6 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, shooting 1 of 8 from the field. And then we'll move on and we'll finish November. So we'll go from November 20th to December 10th. So we've got a 12-5 record, so we'll simulate through. We take a 2-point loss to New Orleans, then get a win over the Clippers, a win over the Jazz, a win over Minnesota, and a win over the Mavs to finish November. And then we start December with a 2-point win over Chicago. Then we win against the Rockets, win against the Pacers, win against the Jazz. And then on December 10th, we lose by 9 to Boston. So as of December 10th, we've got 20 wins and 7 losses. So we'll check the 2-point loss to the Pelicans. 23 points for Eric Gordon, 21 for Chris Kaman, 12 points for Ariza, and 12 points for Peja Stojakovic. 22 points for Richard Jefferson, 17 points for Steven Jackson, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and a steal for Klay Thompson. And Steph Curry had only 8 points, shooting 3 of 8 from the field. And then we move on to the win against the Clippers. 28 points and 10 assists for Steph Curry, so a double-double. 25 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, and 2 steals for Klay, shooting 9 of 13 from the field and 5 of 7 from deep. 25 points and 14 rebounds for David Lee, so a double-double. Steven Jackson was 16. 28 points and 13 rebounds for Blake Griffin, so a double-double. 26 points and 11 assists for Chris Paul, so a double-double. Chauncey Billups with 13. And then the win against Utah, 20 piece for Steven Jackson, 18 for Steph Curry, 15 for David Lee, 14 points and 11 rebounds for Andrew Bogut, so a double-double. 12 points for Dorrell Wright. Nate Robinson with 10, and Klay struggled with 9 points, 3 rebounds and an assist, shooting 4 of 12 from the field. 13 points and 16 rebounds for Derek Favors, so a double-double. Al Jefferson with 12 points and 10 rebounds, so a double-double. AK-47 with 12 points and Josh Howard with 12 points. Then move on to the win against Minnesota. A 30-piece for Michael Beasley, 16 points and 10 assists for Ricky Rubio, so a double-double. 12 points and 18 rebounds for Kevin Love, so a double-double. 12 points for Nikola Pekovic. We move on. Klay with 18 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal, shooting 6 of 12 from the field. 17 for Steven Jackson, 16 points for Steph Curry, and Dorrell Wright with 14, and David Lee with 13 points and 11 rebounds, so a double-double. And Andrew Bogut with 12 points and 11 rebounds, so a double-double. We move on to the win against the Mavs. 42 points for Dirk Nowitzki, 21 for Jason Terry, 13 for Sean Marion, and 11 for Vince Carter. 19 points for Steph Curry, 19 for David Lee, 14 for Reggie Williams, 12 points for Richard Jefferson, 12 points for Andrew Bogut, 10 points for Steven Jackson, and Klay Thompson struggled with 7 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal, shooting 3 of 10 from the field. And then the 2-point win against the Bulls to start December. 17 points for Klay with 2 rebounds and 2 assists. 16 for Steph Curry, 16 for Dorrell Wright, 15 points and 13 rebounds for Bogut, so a double-double. 25 points and 12 assists for Derrick Rose, so a double-double. A 20-piece and 13 rebounds for Carlos Boozer, so a double-double. And then the win against the Rockets, a 20-piece for Dorrell Wright, 18 for Jefferson, 16 points and 10 assists for Curry, so a double-double. 14 for David Lee, 12 points and 10 rebounds for Andrew Bogut, so a double-double. And Klay struggled with 9 points, 4 rebounds and 1 assist, but he only shot the ball 5 times. 22 for Kevin Martin, 20 for Aaron Brooks, Kyle Lowry with 18 and Gordon Dragic with 12. And then the win over the Pacers, 29 points for Steph Curry, 16 for Jefferson, 14 for David Lee, 13 for Steven Jackson, and 12 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist and a steal and 2 blocks for Klay Thompson, shooting 4 of 8 from the field. 26 for Paul George, David West with 18 and Danny Granger with 18. And then the win against the Jazz, 17 points for Devin Harris, Al Jefferson with 14 points and 10 rebounds, so a double-double. Josh Howard with 14, CJ Miles with 13, Steven Jackson with 22, Steph Curry with 21, Klay Thompson with 18 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist and a steal. And then David Lee with 16 points and 10 rebounds, so a double-double. Bogut with 16 points and 13 rebounds, so a double-double. And then the loss to the Boston Celtics, 25 points, 3 rebounds and 2 steals for Klay Thompson, shooting 10 of 16 from the field and 5 of 7 from deep. 19 for David Lee, 18 for Doral Wright, 17 points and 10 rebounds for Bogut, so a double-double. 14 points and 14 assists for Steph Curry, so a double-double. And then Paul Pierce with 26, Jeff Green with 22, and Avery Bradley with 15. And then we move on and we'll finish the rest of December. So we'll go from December 10th to December 30th with a 20-7 record, so we'll simulate through. We take a tough loss to the Bucks, a tough loss to the Pacers, then get a win over the 76ers, then take a loss to Portland, then get a win over, then take a loss to Toronto, then get a win over the Knicks, a win over the Nets, then lose to Memphis, win over the Hornets, win against the Jazz, and then lose to Portland on December 30th. So as of December 30th, we've got a 25 win record and 12 losses. So we'll check the 6-point loss against the Bucks. 44 points for Monty Ellis, Brandon Jennings with 16. 24 points and 10 rebounds for David Lee, so a double-double. 19 points for Steph Curry, Richard Jefferson with 17. Klay Thompson with 13 points, 2 rebounds and 3 assists, shooting 3 of 8 from the field. Steven Jackson with 10 points and 11 assists, so a double-double. Then we move on to a loss against the Pacers. 23 for David West, 17 for Leonardo Barbosa, 13 for Danny Granger and 11 for Paul George. A 20-piece each for Richard Jefferson and Steven Jackson. Steph Curry with 14. Andrew Bogut with 14 points and 12 rebounds, so a double-double. And Klay struggled with 6 points and 5 rebounds with a steal, but he only shot the ball 4 times. And then the win against the Sixers, 18 for Thaddeus Young, Lou Williams with 18. Jrue Holiday with 14 and Andre Iguodala with 12. 21 points for Klay Thompson with 1 rebound and 2 assists, shooting 9 of 13 from the field. David Lee with 21 points and 14 rebounds, so a double-double. Steven Jackson with 15 and Steph Curry with 11 points and 17 assists, so a double-double. And then we move on. And then we move on to the loss against the Raptors. 34 for DeMar DeRozan, 25 points and 14 rebounds for Ed Davis, so a double-double. Andrea Bargnani with 24, 28 points and 10 rebounds for David Lee, so a double-double. 20 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists for Klay, shooting 9 of 21 from the field. Steven Jackson with 18, and Steph Curry with 14 points and 10 assists, so a double-double. And then the 2-point win over the Knicks. 28 points for Carmelo Anthony, 22 for J.R. Smith, Stoudemire and Tyson Chandler with 19 points each. 26 points and 12 rebounds for David Lee, so a double-double. 25 points for Steven Jackson, 21 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists and a steal for Klay, shooting 5 of 12 from the field. 20 points and 11 assists for Steph Curry, so a double-double. Andrew Bogut with 13. And then the win against the Nets, 26 for Brook Lopez, 20 points for Travis Outlaw, 18 points and 13 assists for Deron Williams, so a double-double. Max Snow with 15 and Anthony Morrow with 13. 36 points for Steph Curry, 26 for Doral Wright, 24 for David Lee, 24 points and 14 rebounds for David Lee, so a double-double. And then Steven Jackson with 12 points. And then Klay with only 8 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 3 steals, but he only, because he fouled, 8 points, 1 rebound, 2 steals, 2 assists, and 3 steals in 17 minutes, but he fouled out. And then move on to the 6-point loss against Memphis. 18 points for Andrew Bogut, 15 points and 10 assists for Steph Curry, so a double-double. 14 points and 13 rebounds for David Lee, so a double-double. 11 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist and 1 block for Klay Thompson, shooting 4 of 11 from the field. Mike Conley with 21, Ish Smith with 20, Zach Randolph with 18 points and 11 rebounds, so a double-double. Rudy Gay with 13 points and 10 rebounds, so a double-double. And Marc Gasol with 13 points and 14 rebounds, so a double-double. And then the win against the Hornets, 22 points and 10 assists for Steph Curry, so a double-double. 18 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists for Klay Thompson. Richard Jefferson, David Lee, and Steven Jackson got 16 points each. 26 points for Gerald Henderson, 17 for DJ Augustine, Boris Diaw with 16, and Corey Maggette with 13. So we lost on Christmas Day, surprisingly. And then December 28th, we get the win against the Jazz. 18 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists for Klay Thompson. 14 points for Steph Curry, 14 points for David Lee, and 14 points and 12 rebounds for Doral Wright, so a double-double. And Andrew Bogut with 11 points and 16 rebounds, so a double-double. 17 for Paul Millsap. Al Jefferson with 11 points and 11 rebounds, so a double-double. Gordon Hayward with 10 points. And then the loss to Portland, 24 points for David Lee, 21 points for Doral Wright, 18 points for Richard Jefferson, 14 points, 1 rebound, and 2 assists for Klay Thompson, 23 for Raymond Felton, J.J. Hickson with 20 points, Jamal Crawford with 19, Nicholas Batum with 17, and LaMarcus Aldridge with 13 points. Then we move on into January, so we go from December 30th to January 27th with a 25-12 record, so we'll simulate through. So we take a win to start January against the Atlanta Hawks. 16 points for Nate Robinson, 15 for Steph, 14 for David Lee. Klay Thompson with 13 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal, shooting 5 of 11 from the field. 19 points for Kirk Heinrich, 16 for Marvin Williams, 13 for Josh Smith, and 13 for Morris Evans. Then move on and we'll simulate from January 3rd to January 27th with a 26-12 record, so we'll simulate through. We take a win against the Pistons, then we lose by 3 to the Magic, then we win against the Suns, lose by 14 to the Spurs, and lose by like 13 to the Bulls, then win against Washington, lose to Boston, lose to the Cavs by 2, win against Brooklyn, win against Memphis, and win against Raptors on January 27th. So as of January 27th, we've got a record of 32 wins and 17 losses in Klay's rookie season. So check the win against Detroit. 24 points and 10 rebounds for David Lee, so a double-double. 19 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists with a steal for Klay Thompson. 17 for Steph Curry, 17 for Doral Wright. 23 points for Rodney Stuckey, 14 for Tayshaun Prince, 14 for T-Mac. And then the loss by 3 to the Magic. 24 points and 12 rebounds for David Lee, so a double-double. A 20-piece with 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals, and a block for Klay Thompson. 16 for Nate Robinson, 15 for Doral Wright, and Steph Curry fouled out for 0 points in 23 minutes. And then Dwight Howard with 29 points and 13 rebounds, so a double-double. 20 piece for JJ Riddick, Glenn Davis with 13 points, and Jameer Nelson and Jason Richardson both with 12 points. And then the win against the Suns, 23 points for David Lee, 19 points and 11 assists for Steph Curry, so a double-double. 18 points and 13 rebounds for Bogut, so a double-double. 18 points for Steven Jackson, 14 points, 5 rebounds and 3 assists for Klay Thompson. 23 points for Grant Hill, 17 points for Shannon Brown, 14 points and 22 assists for Steve Nash. And then the loss by 14 to the Spurs, 23 points and 12 assists for Tony Parker, so a double-double. Tim Duncan with a 20-piece and 12 rebounds, so a double-double. Grant Hill with 18, Manu Ginobili with 15, and Kawhi Leonard with 14. 21 points, 2 rebounds, and 5 assists for Klay Thompson, shooting 8 of 11 from the field and 4 of 7 from deep. Andrew Bogut with 19 points and 12 rebounds, so a double-double. David Lee with 18. Reggie Williams with 16 and Nate Robinson with 14. Steph Curry struggled with 7 points, and Steven Jackson fouled out for 13. And move on to the loss against the Bulls. 31 points coming from Derrick Rose, Carlos Boozer with 21, Luol Deng with 20, and Rip Hamilton with 12. Steph Curry with 29, Klay Thompson with 23 points and 2 rebounds, shooting 9 of 14 from the field. 10 points for Doral Wright, 10 points for Reggie Williams. We move on to the win against the Washington Wizards. A 30-piece for Andre Blatty, John Wall with 21, Gerald Green with 17, and Jamal Crawford with 16. Doral Wright with 26, Steph Curry with 23 points and 13 assists, so a double-double. David Lee with 23 points and 12 rebounds, so a double-double. Klay Thompson with 14 points and 3 rebounds, shooting 5 of 13. 13 points for Steven Jackson, and Andrew Bogut with 10 points and 10 rebounds, so a double-double. We move on to a loss against the Celtics. 31 points and 5 rebounds for Jeff Green. 19 points for Ray Allen, 18 for Paul Pierce. Rajon Rondo with 17 points and 12 assists, so a double-double. 16 points for Marcus Daniel, and Kevin Garnett with 14. 22 points for Steph Curry, 22 for David Lee, Richard Jefferson with 18, Klay Thompson with 13 points, 1 rebound and 2 assists, shooting 5 of 6 from the field. And then the 2-point loss to the Cavs, 37 points and 11 assists for Kyrie, so a double-double. 17 for Antoine Jameson, Tristan Thompson with 16 points and 14 rebounds, so a double-double. 27 points and 6 rebounds for Klay Thompson, shooting 10 of 18 from the field and 6 of 10 from deep. 15 for David Lee, 12 points and 13 assists for Steph Curry, so a double-double, and 12 points for Steven Jackson. And then the win against the Nets, 23 points for Steven Jackson, 21 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal for Klay, shooting 6 of 10 from the field and 4 of 7 from deep. Richard Jefferson with 18, David Lee with 15, and Andrew Bogut with 14 points and 13 rebounds, so a double-double, and Steph Curry fouls out in 13 minutes for 0 points. Brook Lopez with 21, D. Williams with 14 points and 10 assists, so a double-double. And then the win against Memphis, 24 points for Steph Curry, 19 points and 12 rebounds for David Lee, so a double-double. 16 points for Doral Wright, Richard Jefferson with 13, Andrew Bogut with 11 points and 11 rebounds, but he fouls out. And then Klay with 8 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist, shooting 3 of 11 with 5 fouls. A 20-piece for Rudy Gay, OJ Mayo with 17, and Zach Randolph with 14 points and 15 rebounds, so a double-double. And Marc Gasol with 12 points and 12 rebounds, so a double-double. And then the win on January 27th against the Raptors, 28 points and 12 rebounds for David Lee, so a double-double. 16 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist for Klay, shooting 6 of 11 from the field. DeMar DeRozan with 24 and Pagani with 16 points. We move on and we'll go into February. So we'll go from January 27th to February 26th. So we'll simulate through. So we take the loss to finish January against OKC. 33 points and 11 assists for Westbrook, so a double-double. A 30-piece for Kevin Durant, 19 for Harden, 17 for Steven Jackson, 14 for David Lee, 11 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, and a steal for Klay, and 9 points for Steph Curry. Then we move on into February, so we'll go from January 31st to February 26th. With a 32 win and 18 losses, so we'll simulate through. We start February with a win against Minnesota, a win against Denver, then lose to the Mavs, lose to OKC, lose to Portland, then get the win over the Lakers, get the win over Washington, get the win over the Clippers. All-Star games happen. Come out of All-Star, we get a win over the Lakers, a win over the Rockets, and a win over Minnesota. So as of February 26th, we've got a record of 40 wins and 21 losses. So check the win against Minnesota. 24 points and 11 rebounds for Kevin Love, so a double-double. 25 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist for Klay Thompson. 22 points and 13 rebounds for David Lee, so a double-double. And then the win against Denver, 17 points for Wilson Chandler, Ty Lawson with 15, a 20-piece for Richard Jefferson, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 blocks for Klay, Steph Curry with 13 points, and then the loss to the Mavs, 22 points for Doral Wright, 21 for Steph Curry, 18 points and 15 rebounds for David Lee, so a double-double, and 17 points and 4 assists for Klay. And then 29 points for Dirk Nowitzki. Shawn Marion with 19 points and 14 rebounds, so a double-double. And then the All-Star draft happened. So it's going to be Team Kevin Durant against Team LeBron. So in the starters for Kevin Durant's team is KD, Dirk Nowitzki, Chris Paul, Tim Duncan, and Derrick Rose. Reserves are going to be Tony Parker, De'Aaron Williams, Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, Zach Randolph, Blake Griffin, and Pau Gasol. And then Team LeBron has Team LeBron starting with LeBron, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, and Dwight Howard. And the reserves are Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Joe Johnson, Kevin Love, Russell Westbrook, Josh Smith, and Rajon Rondo. So then we come out of that and we come to the loss against OKC. 38 points for Doral Wright, 20 for Steph Curry, 17 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists for Klay. 39 points and 12 assists for Russell Westbrook, so a double-double. 25 points and 11 rebounds for Kevin Durant, so a double-double. 22 points and 10 assists for Harden, so a double-double. And then the loss to Portland, 22 points and 13 rebounds for LaMarcus Aldridge, so a double-double. Raymond Felton with 18 points and 10 assists, so a double-double. Wesley Matthews with 15. 29 points for Steph Curry. 20-piece, 1 rebound and 3 assists for Klay. 16 points and 11 rebounds for Andrew Bogut, so a double-double. And then the win against the Lakers, 36 points coming from Steph Curry, 22 points and 2 assists for Klay, 13 for Steven Jackson, and 12 points and 20 rebounds for Bogut, so a double-double. 22 for Pau Gasol, 21 for Kobe, Andrew Bryman with 12, Troy Murphy with 12, and Matt Barnes with 12. And then the win against Washington, 26 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists for Klay, 22 for Steven Jackson, 19 for Steph Curry, and 18 points for David Lee. And then John Wall with 23 points and Jamal Crawford with 14. And the 2-point win against the Clippers, 23 points for Caron Butler, Kenyon Martin with 20, Chauncey Billups with 19 points and 14 assists, so a double-double. CP3 with 17 points and 11 assists, so a double-double. A 30-piece and 10 rebounds for David Lee, so a double-double. 23 points for Steph Curry, 14 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist for Klay. And Steven Jackson with 13 points and 11 assists, so a double-double. And then the Rising Stars game happened. So we got Team USA versus Team World. Team USA gets the 126-92 win. 31 points and 11 rebounds for Blake Griffin, so a double-double. 22 for Paul George, 16 for Rubio, 16 for Evan Turner. And then the All-Star game happened. Team LeBron gets the 116-106 win over Team Kevin Durant. Team LeBron, Kobe Bryant with 23, D Wade with 22, Russell Westbrook with 18 points and 10 assists, so a double-double, and 16 points for Dwight Howard, 19 for Kevin Durant, Derrick Rose with 16, Tony Parker with 16, Chris Paul with 13, and Tim Duncan with 13 points and 11 rebounds, so a double-double. And then after the All-Star break, we get the win against the Lakers. 32 for Kobe, 13 for Andrew Bynum, and Pau Gasol with 10 points and 15 rebounds, so a double-double. 17 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists for Klay, shooting 5 of 8 from the field and 3 of 4 from deep. 17 for David Lee, 11 for Steven Jackson, and the win against the Rockets. 28 points for Steven Jackson, 18 points, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block for Klay. 18 for David Lee, 16 points and 11 assists for Steph Curry, so a double-double. 23 for Kenyon Martin, Louis Scola with 16. And then the win against Minnesota, a 30-piece and 12 assists for Steph Curry, so a double-double. David Lee with 26, and Klay Thompson with 18 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and a steal. Then we move on. We'll finish February into March. So we'll go from February 26th to March 18th. So we'll simulate through. We take a loss to Portland to finish February. So we'll check the loss to Portland. 22 for Steph Curry, 18 for Richard Jefferson, 13 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists for Klay. LaMarcus Aldridge with 22 points and 11 rebounds, so a double-double. J.J. Hickson with 20 points and 12 rebounds, so a double-double. Then we move on from February 28th to March 18th with a 40 and 22 record, so we'll simulate through. And we start March with a loss to the Clippers. Then we get a win against New Orleans, a win against the Lakers, a win against OKC, a win against Memphis, a win against the Bucks, a win against the Suns, a win against the Clippers, then lose 2 straight against the Hawks and Memphis. So we'll check the loss against the Clippers. 33 points, 1 rebound, and 6 assists for Steph Curry. And then Klay with 13 points, 3 assists, and a steal and a block. 33 points, 12 rebounds for Blake Griffin, so a double-double. CP3 with 23 points and 12 assists, so a double-double. Then the 1-point win against New Orleans. 18 points for Doral Wright, 15 points and 11 rebounds for David Lee, so a double-double. 10 points for Curry. And Klay struggled with 5 points, 2 assists, and 2 blocks, shooting 2 of 9 from the field. 21 for Eric Gordon. Jared Jack with 17. Carl Laundry with 14 points and 13 rebounds, so a double-double. In the win against Lakers, 25 for Pau Gasol, 14 for Kobe, and 12 for Matt Barnes. 19 for David Lee, 18 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, and a steal for Klay. And Steph Curry with only 9 points. And then the win against OKC, 34 points and 11 assists for Russell Westbrook, so a double-double. 25 for KD, 23 points and 10 assists for Harden, so a double-double. 19 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists for Klay Thompson. 18 for Steph Curry and Richard Jefferson with 16. And then the win against Memphis, 28 for OJ Mayo, Rudy Gay with 23, Gilbert Arenas with 18, and Marc Gasol with 16 points and 10 rebounds, so a double-double. 25 for David Lee, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, and a block for Klay Thompson. 19 points and 10 assists for Steven Jackson, so a double-double. Nate Robinson with 11, Richard Jefferson with 15, and Steph Curry with only 9. We move on to the win against the Bucks. 25 points for David Lee, Steven Jackson with 16, Steph Curry with 14, and Klay struggled with 13 points and 2 assists. 21 for Brandon Jennings, Monte Ellis with 16 points and 10 assists, so a double-double. And the win against the Suns, 31 for David Lee, 15 points and 14 assists for Steph Curry, so a double-double. 15 for Steven Jackson, and Klay Thompson struggled with 10 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. And then the win against the Clippers, 21 points and 10 assists for CP3, so a double-double. 21 for Caron and 21 for Blake Griffin. 28 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists for Klay Thompson. 27 for David Lee and 9 points for Curry. And then the 5-point loss to the Hawks. 29 points and 11 rebounds to Joe Johnson, so a double-double. Maurice Evans with 26 and Josh Smith with 15. 23 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists for Klay Thompson. 19 points each for Dorrell Wright and Steph Curry. And then the loss to Memphis. 23 points for Rudy Gay. Zach Van Randolph with 19 points and 18 rebounds, so a double-double. 18 for Connolly and 15 for Gasol. A 20-piece, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and a block for Klay. David Lee with 19 and Steph Curry with 15 points and 12 assists, so a double-double. Then we move on and we'll finish March. So we'll go from March 18th to April 7th with a 47 and 25 record. So we'll simulate through. We take a win against the Rockets, lose to the Mavs, win against the 76ers, win against Minnesota, win against New Orleans, and we win against the Spurs to finish March. We start April with a win over Denver, lose to OKC, and then win against Sacramento. So as of April 7th, we've got a 54 wins and 27 losses. So we'll check the win against the Rockets. 27 for Kenyon Martin, Kyle Lowry with 16, 22 for Steven Jackson, David Lee with 21, 19 for Steph Curry, 19 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal for Klay. And then the loss to the Mavs, 29 for Jason Terry, 24 points and 16 rebounds for Dirk, so a double-double. 23 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal for Klay. 21 for Steph Curry, and Bogut with 11 points and 10 rebounds, so a double-double. And then a win against the Sixers, 27 for Richard Jefferson, 24 and 14 for David Lee, so a double-double. Steph Curry with 17, Klay with 13 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and a steal. 20-piece for Iguodala, 15 for Lou Williams. And then the win against Minnesota, 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists from Klay, shooting 5 of 6 from the field and perfect from deep. 15 for Dorrell Wright, David Lee with 13, and Steph Curry with only 10. And then the win against New Orleans, 22 for Steven Jackson, 16 points and 11 rebounds for David Lee, so a double-double. 15 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, and a steal for Klay. 33 for Eric Gordon. And then the win against the Spurs, 23 for Steven Jackson, 18 for Steph Curry, and 18 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals for Klay. A 20-piece for Tony Parker, 18 points and 11 rebounds for Tim Duncan, and Danny Green with 14. And then the win against Denver, 13 points for Al Harrington, 13 for Andre Miller, 20-piece for David Lee, 18 for Steph Curry, and Klay struggled with 10 points and 10 assists, so wrecks his first double-double of the season. And then the loss to OKC, 18 for David Lee, 16 for Klay Thompson with 7 rebounds and 1 assist, 15 points and 10 assists for Steph, and 15 points for Nate Robinson. So Steph gets a double-double, 39 points and 14 assists for Westbrook, so a double-double, 29 for KD and 14 for James Harden. And then the win against the Kings, 24 for DeMarcus Cousins, 19 for Tyreek Evans, and Isaiah Thomas with 17, 25 for Dorrell Wright, 24 for David Lee, 19 for Jefferson, 18 for Curry, 12 points and 12 rebounds for Bogut, so a double-double. And Klay managed to shoot 2 times and got 0 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and is still shooting 0 of 2 from the field. And then we go into the last game with a 54 and 27 record, so I'll simulate the last game. And we end up losing to Portland. So MVP goes to LeBron. John Wall gets Rookie of the Year. Steven Jackson gets 6th Man of the Year from Golden State. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Dwight Howard. Al Horford gets Most Improved. Rick Carlisle gets Coach of the Year with 63 wins and 19 losses. So all NBA first team is Westbrook, Chris Paul, LeBron, Kevin Durant, and Dwight Howard. All NBA second is Derrick Rose, Kyrie, Kevin Love, Dirk Nowitzki, and Pau Gasol. All NBA third team is D Wade, D Williams, Blake Griffin, Josh Smith, and Tim Duncan. All defensive first team is Dwayne Wade, Chris Paul, LeBron, Josh Smith, and Dwight Howard. All defensive second team is John Wall, Kobe Bryant, Serge Ibaka, Kevin Garnett, and DeAndre Jordan. All rookie first team is John Wall, Greg Monroe, Nikola Pokovic, Iman Shumpert, and Crawford. So we'll advance on. So it's going to be Minnesota play Portland and Denver and New Orleans in the play-in for the West, and the play-in for the East is going to be Cleveland and Indiana and Milwaukee and Atlanta. So we'll simulate the play-in, and it's going to be Dallas, Minnesota. For Dallas, Minnesota, OKC, Golden State, San Antonio, LA Lakers, LA Clippers, and Portland in the West. And then Miami, Indiana, New York, Boston, Chicago, Philly, and Orlando, Cleveland. So we'll get into the OKC versus Golden State series. So we ended up getting the 5th seed. So we'll simulate game 1. And Golden State take game 1, 117 to 112. Russell Westbrook with 31, KD with 30 points and 11 rebounds, so a double-double. 32 for Steph Curry, Richard Jefferson with 14, and Klay with only 9.6 rebounds and 1 assist and a block. Move on to game 2, and we'll simulate game 2. And OKC lock it up in game 2 and take the 120 to 102 win. 37 for Russell Westbrook, 28 for Kevin Durant, 15 points and 10 assists for Harden, so a double-double. 22 points and 10 rebounds for David Lee, so a double-double. 15 for Jefferson, 11 for Curry, 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists for Klay. Move on to Game 3, and we'll simulate Game 3. And OKC take a 2-1 lead as they take the 136-135 win. A 30-piece, 2 rebounds and 4 assists for Klay, shooting 10 of 13 from the field. 21 for Curry and 14 for David Lee. 51 points and 12 assists for Russell Westbrook, so a double-double. 19 points and 11 assists for Harden, so a double-double. And 11 points for Kevin Durant, but he fouled out. So move on to Game 4, and we'll simulate Game 4. And Golden State lock it up 2-all. They get the 126-117 win. 21 for Curry, 18 each for Jefferson and Bogut. And then Klay struggled with 9 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals and a block. 27 points and 14 assists for Westbrook, so a double-double. 24 for Kevin Durant and James Harden with only 11 points. And move on to Game 5, and we'll simulate Game 5. And Golden State take Game 5, 119 to 91, to take the 3-2 lead in the series. 25 for Westbrook, 19 for Kevin Durant, a 20-piece and 11 assists for Steph Curry, so a double-double. Klay Thompson with 17 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists. And Bogut with 17 points and 12 rebounds, so a double-double. Move on to Game 6, and we'll simulate Game 6. And Golden State end up beating OKC in 6 games, 131 to 114. 34 points and 10 assists for Steph Curry, so a double-double. 23 for David Lee. And then Bogut with 8 points. And then Klay Thompson struggled with 5 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists, and a steal. Russell Westbrook with a 30-piece game. 25 for Kevin Durant and 18 for James Harden. So we'll simulate the round. So it's going to be Dallas versus Golden State, LA, Portland, Miami, New York, Orlando versus Chicago. So we'll get into the second round between Golden State and Dallas. So we'll simulate Game 1. And Golden State take Game 1, 127 to 126. 35 for Dirk Nowitzki, 26 for Vince Carter, and 19 for David West. 26 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist for Klay. 21 points and 10 rebounds for David Lee, so a double-double. 18 points for Steph Curry, but he fouled out. We'll move on to Game 2, and we'll simulate Game 2. And Dallas square up the series 1-all. They get the 116-107 win. 25 for Vince, 21 for Jason Terry, and 19 for Dirk Nowitzki. 18 for Jefferson, 17 for David Lee. Klay with 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists. And Steph Curry with only 9 points. Move on to Game 3 and we'll simulate Game 3. And Dallas take a 2-1 lead, 127 to 118 win. 20 for Steven Jackson, 17 points and 10 rebounds for David Lee, so a double-double. 16 points and 10 assists for Steph, so a double-double. Klay with only 8 points, 4 rebounds and 4 assists with a block, but he only shot 2 of 4 from the field. 37 points for Dirk. Deshaun Stevenson with 18. Move on to Game 4 and we'll simulate Game 4. And Golden State have locked up the series 2-all to get the big 155 to 112 win. 25 for Curry, 22 for Jefferson. Klay with 15 points and 2 rebounds, shooting 6 of 9. 29 points and 11 rebounds for Dirk, so a double-double. 21 for Jason Terry and Vince Carter with 14. Move on to Game 5 and we'll simulate Game 5. Dallas take Game 5, 121 to 116. 32 for Dirk, 22 for Jason Terry, 22 for Marion, and 18 for Vince Carter. 25 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and a block for Klay. 23 for Doral Wright. Steph Curry with 15. Move on to Game 6. Can Golden State force a Game 7? So I'll simulate Game 6. And Golden State get knocked out in 6. So they end up losing to the Mavs 4-2, 112 to 91. 17 points for Bogut, 13 for Jefferson, 12 for Nate Robinson, 9 points for Klay with 4 rebounds and 3 assists, and Steph with only 6 points. 21 for Jason Terry. Dirk Nowitzki with 16 points and 12 rebounds, so a double-double. Vince Carter with 15. So we'll simulate the round. And it's going to be LA playing Dallas and New York, Orlando. So we'll simulate the round again. And it's going to be Western Conference Finals MVP goes to Dirk Nowitzki. Eastern Conference Finals MVP goes to Carmelo Anthony. So Dallas end up beating the Lakers 4-1. And New York end up beating Orlando 4-3. So it's going to be a Mavericks-Knicks Finals. So we'll go into and we'll go finish the finals. So we'll go between game 1 of the Knicks and the Mavs. So we'll simulate Game 1. And the Knicks take Game 1, 109 to 96. 19 points and 12 rebounds for Marion, so a double-double. 16 for Carter and 15 for Jason Kidd. 51 points for Carmelo Anthony. 15 for Mari Stoudemire. Move on to Game 2 and we'll simulate Game 2. And Mavs take Game 2, 138 to 116. 36 points for Dirk Nowitzki, 22 points and 11 rebounds for Marion, so a double-double. 17 points for Jason Kidd and 16 points for Jason Terry. And then Carmelo Anthony with 32 points, J.R. Smith with 17, and Baron Davis with 15. Move on to Game 3 and we'll simulate Game 3. And the Knicks are back up 2-1, 133 to 129 win. 27 points for Carmelo Anthony, a 20-piece for Stoudemire, Jeremy Lin and Baron Davis with 18 points each. 36 for Jason Terry, 21 points and 11 rebounds for Dirk, so a double-double. Vince Carter with 19 and Marion with 12. Move on to Game 4 and we'll simulate Game 4 of the finals. And Knicks take a 3-1 lead. They get a 125 to 113 win. Carmelo Anthony with 27, 20 for Tyson Chandler, Baron Davis with 17, J.R. Smith and Amari Stoudemire with 14 points each, 34 points and 13 rebounds for Dirk. So it's a double-double. Jason Terry and Vince Carter with 16 points each. So move on to Game 5. So we'll simulate Game 5. And the New York Knicks win it in 5. So Carmelo Anthony in 2K says gets a ring. And he ends up with Finals MVP. And they end up taking it 4-1 as they get the 112-111 win. 22 points and 16 rebounds for Dirk. So a double-double. 17 points each for Jason Kidd and Jason Terry. And 11 points for Vince. Carmelo Anthony with 32 points, Amari Stoudemire with 20 points and 11 rebounds, so a double-double, and 16 for J.R. Smith. So your New York Knicks are going to be your NBA Finals champions in the 2011-2012 season. And for your rookie Klay Thompson, so rookie Klay Thompson alongside Steph Curry, Richard Jefferson, David Lee, Steven Jackson and Bogut ended up with a 54 win and 28 loss season with a .659 percentage of winning. Ends up being the 5th seed in the West with a 54 wins and 28 losses. So placed higher than the Lakers, Timberwolves and Trailblazers. We ended up being the 5th seed in the West. We bet OKC 4-2. And then we ended up losing to Dallas 4-2. But Dallas ended up going all the way to the NBA Finals and then losing to the Knicks 4-1. So, as for Klay Thompson's rookie season, he ends up making playoffs, made the 5th seed with a record of 54 wins and 28 losses, and ends up getting knocked out in the semi-finals of the West playoffs. So, yeah, that's another video pretty much wrapped up. And as for all you viewers watching this video and enjoying it, don't forget to hit that like button on the video. And as for all you new viewers out there, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as I'm on that road to 1,300 subs. And I appreciate every single one of you that smashed that subscribe button, as that's another video wrapped up and in the books, as that's NZ Blasian out. And we'll catch you in the next video. NZ Blasian out.